Hi, it's David from David's Hair Design, and for anybody who's watched my videos may sort of think you're wearing the same t-shirt as last time, just that it's the favourite programme. I love The Walking Dead, and I just coincidentally decided to wear this one again today, so I think this will be my video t-shirt. But anyway, down to business. So what we've got here is Lauren, my model. We are going today, we normally do highlights on it. I think I've been doing Lauren's hair for about, what, 5 years?
Something like that.
Something like 5 years, and we normally highlight it, but it is very heavily highlighted. And through the build-up of the highlights, we've now got virtually a full head blonde. So today we have decided we are going to go full head blonde. Yippee! The fist pump going there, it looked like the weird sign, but never mind. So I'm going to be using the Alpine Blonding Cream by Leytonhouse with a 7.5 developer. This blonding cream has got argan and acacia oil in it and chamomile as well, so it's very, very gentle on the scalp and the hair. But I am still going to use Olaplex. I'm going to be doing different batches of the lightener mixture. I'm going to be doing 45 gram batches, and I will only be using 3.7 mils of the Olaplex in each batch, and I reckon for this length hair we're going to need at least 3 to 4 batches anyway. So what I'm going to do now is gown Lauren up. I'm going to section the hair off, mix the colour, and I'm going to actually come back and show you the sections I've done, where I'm going to start and why I'm going to start in that place. And I have already explained we do want to get at least a level 12 on your high lift series on most colour charts, but I have explained that it will most probably take 2 to 3 goes to get the result, which we're not going to do in one day. So I would imagine we'll have like a 4-week to 5-week break between ones, and we will gradually go lighter and lighter and lighter until we get to that almost silver platinum blonde. So I'm going to gown Lauren up and mix my colour, section off the hair, and then I'll come back and show you where I'm going to start. Right, I have mixed my sort of colour up. I've also sectioned Lauren's hair into 4 sections. This first section over here is where Lauren normally parts her hair, so I've taken it on the parting and then done quarters. And I am actually going to start at the back because it is darker than the hair in the front that gets the sun and the wind and a lot of other stuff. You always find the darker hair in the nape and normally at the crown is a lot more difficult to lift sometimes. What I have done, what I did forget to mention is with the Leytonhouse developer, it has got violet and blue tones actually in the developer, which would counteract any yellowing and gold effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my 2 back sections out, and that's split halfway down, so for want of a better explanation, you've got a centre parting right down the middle, and I'm just going to go about 1/2 centimetre from the root. The reason that is, as most people will know by now that have watched other videos, is the scalp generates a lot of heat. So with lightener working on heat and processing quicker on heat, by the time I finish doing Lauren's hair, she's got a lot of hair and it's very long. If I put it directly on the roots, on the scalp will have lifted long before the piece that I'm doing now because there's not as much heat generated. So I'm just going to go down that parting, pull the hair quite tight because you do want to keep as much off of the root as possible, and don't be too stingy with the product. It does have to be quite thick. So I've done my first bit there, and I'm going to go up to just where the blonde has started. Some places like there the dark has gone down, so I can actually go a bit lower down there, and I'm just going to feather it in. I'm not going to make a blunt line, and then do that very bottom bit there. Right, so that is that side done. I'm now going to do the other side. keeping it that at least 1/2 centimetre away. Even though this bleach solution doesn't swell very much, it will still swell a bit, and it will gradually make its own way to the scalp area. But what will happen is, and I'll show you later in the video, when by the time I finish the whole head, I will go through the whole lot again and then just place the colour on the roots directly on the scalp. Right, so that is our start line. Now I'm going to go around and do the top bit. So I've made sort of almost a frame for myself to work on. Keeping it away from the scalp area. I am overlapping a tiny bit. I'm trying not to, but as you know, that is really, really difficult not to overlap. But I'm not too fussed. It is a very mild solution. Like I said, it is only 7.5%, which is 25 volume, and I have got my Olaplex in there, so it has diluted it a fraction. Now I'm going to do the other quad section. Also, doing very long hair like this is obviously a lot more difficult than the short hair. I did one this morning. It is on Facebook. So you could have a look at that if you've got me on Facebook. If not, just look up David Lloyd and you should find me that way. And the pictures of that are on. That came up a really nice blonde, and I did exactly the same method as what I'm going to do today, this afternoon on Lauren's hair. Right, so I've done my outline. I am now going to go in with very thin sections. You should, when you pick the hair up, you should be able to see through that section of hair. So you should be able to see my finger through there. If you can't, then your section is too thick. So we go back over the top, underneath, and you can see that is nicely saturated, and just lay it down very, very gently. Then we go in there again. And I'm going to carry on this method until I have finished the whole head. And when I have finished the whole head, I will start me filming up again, and you can see exactly how far we've got. So I reckon it's going to take me a good 45 minutes to put this on the whole head. So I'll see you in a while. Right, we're back now. We've been through one lot. This is the second lot. What I did was I rinsed off the first mixture. I did an Olaplex treatment. I rinsed it off, didn't shampoo, just rinsed it off. I dried it off to see what the colour was like, and it was still quite yellowy orange in some patches. What we forgot a couple of months ago, Lauren had a bit of a hair disaster with a friend at home, and the whole top came out bright orange, and what we did to rectify that at the time was to go back a little bit darker and tone it down, and forgetting that now we've had to break through her natural colour plus that tint base that we had as well. It has worked. So as I said, what I did was rinsed it off, did an Olaplex treatment, left that on for 10 minutes, gave it a good rinse, rough dried it off, and I've gone straight from roots to ends with another lightener, but I've gone down to the 4.5% developer, and I have used Olaplex. So where this is a 15 volume, it's most probably taken it down to a 10 or a 7 volume, so it is going to be a lot gentler. And I'm actually going to cover this in a cap to get some heat, because the ends of the hair are really cold, and that is where the old colour was as well, and we've got to break through that. But I reckon if we give it about 20 minutes, we should be round about where we are, so we'll come back in 20 minutes and check. Right, we've left this 20 minutes. I have put a shower cap over just to keep the heat in because the ends were very cold. They're quite warm now, and just breaking the hair apart that way, you can actually get an idea, even with the colour on, how light that has gone. So I think we are there. I may put a toner on. I'm obviously going to see after we've rinsed it. As you know, with any lightening process, it might be a bit on the not the brassy side, but like that pale yellow, and I'm going to try and get that out with a silver or a frost toner with a bit of violet in it to counteract that yellow. So I'm going to rinse it off and put the Olaplex treatment on, then I'm going to shampoo, condition and see where we go from there. And we have now finished. There are a couple of things I must admit I did skip on the video, but for reasons, obviously, cameraman maybe was out or things like that. But what I can show you is, what I actually used was this, which is the Leytonhouse Professional Frost, and I used about 40 grams of that, and I added about 10 grams of the violet, and I used the demi-permanent lotion in a ratio of 1 to 1.5 on that. I literally, the hair was wet in the basin, I literally put it on with a little squeeze bottle all over and rubbed it through in about 3 minutes, and I rinsed it off. I didn't even wait for the water, poor Lauren. I didn't even wait for the water to heat up. It was freezing cold water, but I had to rinse it off straight away. You can see these very, very white bits here that I hope the camera's picking up are where the hair is obviously more porous. After all of the colour and the bleach we've done, you are going to get hair that is more in porous, more in patches, so you will find the toner took more. So they have come out a very platinum. There are a couple of bits that we will go into next time. It's a little bit on the warm side. I'm not going to say it's yellow or brassy because it's not. I'm going to say it's a bit of a warmer blonde in some places, that it's a cooler blonde. But that is obviously because we have done this all in one sitting. It is now 25 to 7 and we started this at 2 o'clock. So anybody having this, it is a long process. I did take my time doing it. I did a treatment afterwards. I did an Olaplex treatment, shampooed off with a silver shampoo. The shampoo was quite purpley. I diluted that, shampooed the hair, rinsed that, and then I put on a deep moisturising mask onto the hair, left that on for about 20 minutes, rinsed, and I blow dried it on a very, very low heat on a very, very slow speed. So everything afterwards, obviously going from what Lauren was, as you may have remembered from the beginning of the video, which was about a base 6, to this in one sitting with very, very minimal breakage thanks to Olaplex. I think we've done a really good job, and Lauren's really pleased with it. So we've done a good job. What I'm going to do now, I think we'll go outside because the sun is still shining here in sunny old England for a change, and I'm just going to do a very short bit in the sunlight just to show you what it looks like in natural daylight as opposed to a fluorescent. The colour in the sunlight, as you can see, we are very, very blonde, and I did do a colour this week. A lady went from black to a very, very copper colour, and it was sort of Game of Thrones copper colour. If anybody out there watches Game of Thrones, it was one of the redhead colours, and this, I honestly think, for anybody who watches Game of Thrones, is not far off of Khaleesi's colour. No. I'm very impressed. The condition is amazing, the shine is amazing, and I can't think of anything else to say. I'm really, really pleased with the outcome. And I know some people out there that are going to watch the video will say, oh, there's still some yellow bits and there's still some brassy bits. Yep, you go ahead and try the same thing and try and get an even tone. It is very difficult, and I think we've done very well for the 5 hours of work that we've done. So this is David from David's Hair Design. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, David's Hair Design 50. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm also on Facebook, and I'll leave links below to get onto all of those things. So see you in a few weeks for another video.